And so number 3 says the sum of a number and 4 is equal to 18. Sum means what operation?
Addition.
Addition. And equal obviously means equal. Okay? A number and 4 is equal to 18. Which ones are the parts and which one's the whole? Which one's the parts and what's the whole? Because we have to draw the diagram. Izzy?
18 is the...
Yes, 18 is the whole because it's equal to all of that. And so when I'm drawing my bar diagram, I know the whole thing is 18 because it says it's equal to that. What are my two parts going to be then? 4 is one of them. What's the other one? We can pick X, we can pick N, you can pick whatever one you want. Sum means we're going to make an addition statement. What addition equation can I make based on this drawing? Elliot? 4 plus X equals 18. We're going to define the variable because I will tell you last hour they picked N. So defining the variable means where you tell me what your letter means, where X is a number. I'm going to abbreviate number. Because that way, Izzy could have picked N, Marie could have picked P, Colton could have picked K, and it doesn't matter provided it stands for the same thing. Now we have to solve. How do I get X all by itself? If I have 4, what am I going to do to get rid of that 4? Izzy? So, what am I going to, that's one way to think about it. What am I going to do? What do you think, Clayton? Ah, you're doing it, you skipped one step. I have to take away 4 on this side, right? Because if I have 4, I have to take it away. Then I'll end up with 0. If I take away 4 on this side, what do I have to do on the other side? I have to take away 4. You have to use the triangle method here. You started it way back in 6th grade, maybe 5th grade. You're going to use it for the entire rest of your career here. The entire math department does this. I know you could mental math this one. I'm not trying to teach you the answer here. I'm trying to teach you the process. So you have to make it look like my work. Because in 8th grade now we're doing 2 steps. And in your freshman year you'll do quadratic equations. And you're eventually, yeah, you can't do quadratic equations without knowing the process. Okay? If I have 4 and I take away 4, it's 0. So I'm going to cross that off. 0 plus X is the additive identity property. It just means I have X all by itself. And then it equals 14. And that's my answer. So I know you know the steps. I don't think you always know the reasons why. And that's why. We have to do the same thing on both sides to keep my equation equal. If I have 4, I'm going to use the opposite of that. Either add -4, like Izzy suggested, or take away 4. They're the same. I have to do it on both sides. That's the additive identity property. Okay? Huh? No, we've been using the additive identity property for a long time. Yeah? Any number plus 0 is itself. That's why X is all by itself. Questions about 3. Not I can do it on my own yet, but it's starting to make more sense to me is where I want you to be. 4. Two more than the number of frogs is 4. Wait a minute, it doesn't say equals, it doesn't say sum or difference or product or quotient. How do you know which one's the parts and which one's the whole? Jessalyn? How do you know that? Because it says what? 2 more means what operation?
Addition.
That means addition. What tells you that 4 is the total? What word?
Is 4.
Huh? Is. Is or was tells you that it is. And so, I want you to make a note. The words is or was usually means equals. Not always, but an awful lot. Is or was means that's where the equals is. And since that means in this case that it's the total on your box, this total's 4. 2 more than the number of frogs. What are our parts? 2 and, I know you could mental math it, but let's pretend we don't know. We'll say F for frogs. I know you could mental math it. I know I'm picking easy numbers on purpose because I want the process to make sense to you. 2 more than the number of frogs is 4. How would I make that into an equation? I'm not calling on Jesselyn anymore or Izzy. They've answered an awful lot of questions. This is probably your last one, Bree. Go, Bree. Ooh, I could, but that does not match what it says. It says 2 more than the number of frogs is 4.
So you do 2 plus F.
2 plus F equals 4. Do you see how that matches the words better?
Yes.
2 more, oh, you can't read it. 2 more, so the number 2 plus the number, that's our letter, is means equals 4. Where F is the number of frogs. What I'm doing right there is I'm defining the variable because you didn't have to pick the letter F. You could have picked any letter. Or a symbol. You could have put a triangle in there. We generally pick variables that are actual letters. Are we done?
Nope. No.
How am I going to get F all by itself?
Minus 3.
Elliot. Good, because then it's 0. Good. If I do it on this side, I have to do it on this. 2 take away 2 is 0. 0 plus F is the additive identity property, which means I have F left over. 4 take away 2 is 2. You're going to circle it. You seem to be bored to tears. You and your partner do 5 on your own. Go.